The Bucks, they were in action for the first time since Adrian Griffin's
Look at
dismissal.
that is so petty.
They look a little unfazed, yeah? Giannis put up 35, 18, and 10 in their wire-to-wire win over the Cavs. And then after the game, Antetokounmpo, he spoke for the first time about their coaching change in Milwaukee. Take a listen.
No, I think he caught me by surprise. I've been here 11 years. This have happened one time before. I love the guy. I invited him to my wedding. I talked with him. I was coached by him, and we did very, very, very well. I gotta trust the front office. I gotta trust the ownership group that they can see the bigger picture. My job is to be the best version of myself, to lead this team out there and help win games. And their job is to, create the best team possible and the best atmosphere around the team possible.
Yeah, Giannis didn't know. Do you believe him?
No. Oh, my God. I am so surprised. I did not see that coming. He got fired? What?
You sound like Siri.
This is really, wow.
All I know is this. Adrian Griffin will still be there if Giannis Antetokounmpo wanted him there. Period. It ain't no ends, no,
So,
you know what I'm saying? It's a buts
At
about
the end
it.
of the day, though, Adrian Griffin out, Doc Rivers is in. So who is facing the most pressure to make this work in Milwaukee? Because that's the reason there's a coaching change.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is Doc Rivers because Giannis, he said he's been there 11 years. And the reality is that in those 11 years, this is his sixth coach. They changed the dial on that pretty quickly. We all know Woj sat at this desk for the last 2 days and dropped some bombs. And what he said to close our show not too long ago was that this is Doc Rivers' last best chance to really coach at a high level. He's getting, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Dame Lillard, a really good team. And so as much as the players, we all know they can't make personnel tweaks, right? They just don't have the assets to make personnel tweaks.
That's right.
He's going to have to coach his butt off to make up for the defense and also get them back on track. And yeah, I know we've seen a history there, but I think it's not fair, but it is him.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to start. Look, I am not going to start a relationship with somebody that is 5'6" and then complain that they're not 6 feet tall. You know what you are getting with Doc Rivers. We are not in a situation here where Doc Rivers can be in a space
Why
where
am I 5'6" and
No,
you're 6'1"?
I don't know. Look, my point is this. We know who the hell Doc Rivers is. The pressure is on, in my opinion, it is on Dame Lillard. When we are spending more time talking about what they lost than what they got back, that is an issue. They're like, oh, well, their defense is 22nd, and they lost Drew Holiday, and they lost this, and this is what and they had to give up. You're not talking about you just got a top 75 player.
But won't Dame have multiple opportunities to potentially win a championship?
No.
You think that
Dame
this
is
is his last best chance?
No, when I say last best chance, I mean in this window. Doc Rivers is going to be there for 2 seasons.
Yeah, but
seasons.
Dame is going to play for another 5 or 6 or 7 years.
Yes, but he's not going to be Dame Lillard for 5 or 6 or 7 more years. Maybe if it's 3 or 4.
Still
Dame is
averaging
under
25.
pressure.
Well, y'all could stop.
They're
going
22
back.
in defense.
Y'all could stop going back and forth because both of y'all are wrong.
No, okay.
The person who is under the most pressure is Giannis. Right? Giannis is the one that put pressure on the organization to trade for Damian Lillard and get Drew Holiday out of there. Giannis is the one that has been there for 11 years with 6 different coaches. Giannis had his hand in Mike Budenholzer getting fired. Giannis had his hand in Adrian Griffin getting fired. So don't come sit up here acting like it was a surprise. It wasn't no damn surprise. Giannis knows exactly what's going on. He has a voice in that organization. Giannis Antetokounmpo, since Aaron Rodgers has left Wisconsin, he is the biggest superstar and figure. He is Wisconsin. He is Milwaukee. So don't come tell me anything about pressure, no other areas. I don't want to hear about Dame. I don't want to hear about Doc. It's all about Giannis.
Okay, so the guy that's won a Finals MVP in the last few years,
and a championship,
and a championship, won all of that. There's a coach that hasn't won. Hold on, I let you finish. There's a coach that hasn't won anything since 2008.
Well,
let me finish.
Look at me.
Let me finish.
No, he's making my point here.
Yeah,
so thank you.
Me finish, right?
Appreciate you.
So 2008 he hasn't won a championship. He has a long list of playoff struggles. Yes. Right? A long list of playoff struggles.
Yes.
Then you have another guy named Dame Lillard who just came over. And he is a Hall of Fame player, one of the NBA 75 greatest. He is Dame time. But in this situation, their defense has dropped to a point where it is unrecognizable. So if I'm walking into this situation, is it the coach that not a lot of people believe can be the deciding maker in between second round and conference finals? Is it the coach, or is it the player that has not proven to keep that team at the elite level? Giannis is the reason why they're in this position to be successful in the first place.
Dame will have a lot of opportunities. Doc won't. That's what I'm saying. In this moment, Doc is under pressure to do the most with the least, given their circumstances with their personnel. But I agree with you. At the end of the day, people are going to say, did Dame win a championship or not? Doc has. Giannis has. Did Dame?
Doc is going to be with them for 3 years. That's 3 years of Dame Lillard window.
Look, can we stop with the Game 7s and Doc not winning Game 7s?
No, we cannot. Absolutely not.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I'll let you talk. Let me finish.
Did you really?
The reason being is because in Game 7s, majority of the time, and speaking from experience because I done played with so many Hall of Famers, your superstars, they take you home in Game 7s. It's no game planning in Game 7s. Either you got it or you don't.
When you up 3-2, when you up 3-1, when you up 3-1.
Time out. We label Giannis as one of the most dominant players. He's going to be one of the most all-time greats. How do we view them? We got to keep the same energy we keep for a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, a LeBron James. One championship is not enough.
Agreed.
One championship is not enough.
Agreed.
And you have the pieces around you to get it done. You're second in the Eastern Conference. Can you get it done again? Because, look, one could argue that they were KD big size 18s. If he wasn't on the line, he wouldn't have won the championship that year. Giannis got to get it done, and the pressure is on him.
Doc is a Hall of Fame coach. I think he's a great hire for this job. But at the end of the day, when we're looking at it, we know who Doc Rivers is. He has been, for 15 years, it's been up 3-1. Up 3-2.
Bro, this is the best.
And you just said you said I didn't say Game 7.
Hold on, we need a back and forth.
Get your hand out my pocket.
This is the best team. Doc is the most championship-ready team that Doc Rivers has had since 2008, and when he was coaching the Celtics.
I would agree.
Okay.
So the pressure is on him then.
The Golden State Warriors, they were back in action last night for the first time since the death of assistant coach Dejan Milojevic. And here's how they honored him last night. The Warriors, they wore shirts that said Brate, which translates in Serbian to brother. They also had his initials on the court. Milojevic's family, his wife Natasha, his children Masa and Nikola were in attendance for the game. The Warriors, as you can see, they wore special jerseys with his name on the back, and Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, clearly emotional. And as Steph hits his first three here of the game, watch him here. Afterwards, he dedicates this basket to Dejan, which the team called Decky. And the Warriors, they really just got rolling from there, Richard.
Yes, no, this was a big, you talk about emotional win, but some of it is they had those 2 games that were canceled, spent 5 days really just being with your thoughts, not able to use basketball as an escape. But I think if this team cannot rally with this moment here, then yes, a lot of people have been saying their dynasty, their run might be over, but this is an opportunity for them to come together, and they were led by Jonathan Kuminga last night.
Jonathan Kuminga, I mean, he went crazy today.
He absolutely did, and you could just see the Warriors. They were playing with joy. I think, they all were looking for each other, and it just was true Warriors basketball. I mean, look, sharing the ball, Steph doing his thing. This is what we expect, and I think it was a truly special moment for them to honor their coach.
Kuminga, I mean, Steph is loving what he's seeing from him. Golden State gets the win, 134-112. The Warriors, they now have 7 games remaining in the 2 weeks before the trade deadline. All but one of those games is against a team within a half game of the play-in tournament. So, Richard, you touched on this. This might be the most important stretch of the season for the Golden State Warriors, just when you look at the fact that they're still 3 games under 500, 1 game out of the last play-in spot. Do you think, Chiney, that there is a world in which the Warriors can turn the season around right now?
I think they can definitely turn the season around. I do think that their expectations have changed. Like, I'm no longer thinking that this is the Warriors of 2 years ago that can make a run to the NBA Finals. I think they just need to figure out what is working and what is good and be able to beat the teams that they're expected to beat. What I saw yesterday was Steph being Steph, Klay making open shots, the ball moving around, them playing, you could see, a weight off of them because they realized that they had been brought together through this tragic circumstance. And it just reminded you back of, like, this is them at their best. This is them at their finest. Now, unfortunately, their finest is different. The landscape of the West is completely different, way more competitive. they're going to have some big decisions to make, but they can win more than they had in the first half of the season, but they're not the team that we thought was, the champions 2 years ago.
Okay, look, my last year in college, Lute Olson's wife, she passed away. She passes away in the middle of the season. He has to take some time away. That was like our mom. But that was really our rallying cry for the rest of the season that took us to the Final Four. And we were kind of struggling because our coach wasn't around. This is a different situation, but it's still a family member. You have a family member that you break bread with every day, that has been working with players every day. Last year, we knew that there were some internal squabbles. We knew that there was some pettiness. There were some things going on. They tried to change that. So now this is a perspective moment for them, right? Nothing's guaranteed. These are a rare opportunity to have this group together. And if we want to maximize it, this is not about contracts anymore. This is not about who's playing, who's starting. This is about, hey, we have an opportunity here, and can we maximize that opportunity? So I stand by. If this can't be a rallying cry for this team to say, we still have enough. And the last thing I'll say is this. They're similar, in my opinion, in a very different way to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks are struggling because some of their role players are looking like they're older. They're looking a little bit slower. They don't look like they have that same burst. And I see the same thing with the Golden State Warriors. Their core group is a little bit older. They don't have that exact same burst. And that's what made them dominant, not just their three-point shooting. So they got to get some of that energy, some of that fire back, and these are moments that can help that.
I mean, the question is, right, can the Warriors turn this season around from being disappointing to real contenders? And the answer is no. I think they got a 3-game stretch at home, right, against Philly and I believe, the Lakers and the Sacramento Kings tonight. Like, this is the stretch that's going to identify to the front office with Mike Dunleavy and Joe Lacob of whether or not they should move in a different direction. And you just touched on how this team look old. I mean, the speed ladder is not going to help them out, right? Like, going to agility is not going to get them faster. Like, at the end of the day, the Milwaukee Bucks still got Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Milwaukee Bucks are 30-13. This team is struggling, and I feel like at the end of the day, last night was an emotional win, and rightfully so. But still, they still got a lot of ground to make up, and I just don't see them turning the corner to getting back into the contentions, being a contender.
If they're going to, it has to start right now. Another team that really can't.
I'm on fire. It's NBA,